Hi folks, the Filipina P here. What would you do if you got divorced, went blind, and found that everything you knew, everything you took for granted, had been taken away from you, even the sight of your own child's face? Well, this is the story of one man who turned the tables on fate and boldly went in search of a new life, all alone, and so far out of his comfort zone that most people would never dare to do what he's attempting. Meet Doug. All right, so I have a very special guest for today's episode, Doug. Welcome to my channel. Please tell us about yourself.
I am 47. I'm blind, and I moved to the Philippines back in October. And I just got to Dumaguete last week.
Okay, so you moved here last October?
Yep, last October. I moved here on my own. I sold my house in Arizona, and I decided I was going to come. Part of the reason was watching your channel.
Oh, I'm the culprit. Okay, so Doug, you said you're blind.
I have a disease called retinitis pigmentosa, so it affects the retina.
Okay.
So it started with a narrowing of my visual field, so I could see less out of my blind spot got bigger and bigger. No pun intended, but
yeah.
I know you love puns. But
Yes. You know me.
So my blind spot got bigger, and then it was also light perception, so I started losing the ability to really function at night very, very early on. So it affected me as far as a father, but I had 50% custody of my kids.
Okay.
I never gave up custody. I raised my children, so they were all very young when it started, and they all grew up helping me a little bit. But as my disease progressed, I started losing more and more of my independence. I still worked. I worked until 2020.
What do you do?
Full time. I was an IT professional, so I worked in IT service management, data center services stuff. I was like, what am I going to do when I go on disability? Because as you've talked about on this channel, as everybody talks about on these vlogs, is Social Security doesn't go very far in the United States, right? Social Security disability. So one of my employees, her name was Aditi, she lives in India. And she's like, you come out here and live like a king, on $1,400 a month.
Okay.
She's like, you could live really fat out here. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds cool. Like,
Right.
That was 2014.
Okay.
And that's the year I stopped driving. That was the year a lot of things changed for me. It was 2014. And then it was kind of in the back of my mind, but I was like, when am I ever going to be able to do that? Then 2020 came along, and I'd been losing more and more of my independence, and I was kind of waiting for, I had survived like 30 layoffs at the company I'd been at for 11 years. They did about 3 a year. So I just saw the writing on the wall. I'm like, they're gonna terminate me. So I'm like, I'm gonna go on disability. So I did it.
I can't imagine being blind, walking around the house. Was it scary?
It was scary. Well, that's the other thing. I think you and I talked about this before we started, but in a group of 20 blind people, only 1 in 20 is totally blind. People always ask me, how blind are you? Can you still see things? Yes, I can. I still can see light. I can still see shapes. I can still see movement. So then it was learning to trust the cane and learning non-visual skills to know that if I wanted to, I could go to the Philippines. Now, I bit off a lot coming to the Philippines.
Yeah, I was like going to ask why the Philippines, Doug, because...
Well, I think that the traditional values, and Filipinas are known worldwide for being beautiful, so why not?
Well, the pageants.
And then I'm having to use either friends or my children, my grown children.
Your children to do?
Yeah, like my daughter. I'm like, what's this girl look like?
Okay.
Like, no, Dad, no, do not date her. She's not good, but.
Okay, well, your kids are awesome.
Yeah. They didn't like it, but they did help.
Okay.
Both of my youngest.
So was this like during the time you're setting up your online profile?
Yeah, my daughter helped me.
What did they tell you? Why are you going to the Philippines where I bet they were worried about you?
No.
Okay.
Everybody, no. One of my best friends, Darren, he supported me going, but he's like, all I'm saying is walk, don't run, because I was like, I'm selling my house, I'm going. this is not, there's no braille on anything. There's, it's a lot harder over here than it is in the States to be an independent blind person.
Yeah. Our roads here are not level.
Sidewalks are.
Yeah. So how hard is it to go around the Philippines being a blind person?
Independently? Very hard.
Very hard. Okay.
But compared to the blind people that I see here, the blind people that are working, for example, at the mall doing the massages or whatever, or from what I hear from people, there's not blind people that are out walking around like I do. So a lot of people, I get a lot of staring here. I mean, they're staring anyway. I think you talked about it on your channel before.
Yeah.
That Filipinos kind of stare at foreigners.
Right.
But then you add to it that I'm probably one of the biggest people they've ever seen. I stick out like a sore thumb, like a big sore thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and then I'm blind and I got this, I got this big stick that I'm waving out in front of me. So a lot of people in the United States stare too.
Okay.
But they stare off to the side. Filipinos will stop. A whole family in front of me as I'm barreling towards them.
Oh no.
And stare at me.
I know.
And
I know. It's like kids are not really taught not to stare.
Well, it'd be fine if it was just the kids.
Exactly, but the adults are also doing it. They're not trying to hide it.
No.
They're like glued.
It's refreshing that things are so out in the open here, but it's also sometimes a lot to take. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've heard metaba, fat, basically, in Tagalog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it all the time, right? Or I walk by and a group and just a hush falls over the crowd when I walk by. Mm-hmm. And it's like, at least they're not hiding it. I know in America people are fat shaming me or doing whatever.
I know,
or they're like, oh, there's that blind guy. But here, at least it's out in the open.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not to actually insult you. It's just they're just telling it like how they see it.
Right,
I know, but some people,
it was a little hard to take. My American sensibilities were hurt at first, but I'm a big boy, and that not just in size, but I'm an adult. So I for the most part, I'm able to take it and move on. But it's what I came here for. I came here for a change because I don't really like the way that things are. I am a patriot. I'm an American. I love America, but I don't like the way things are right now. I don't like the way that it's so divisive, the way that everybody needs to have their safe space. And
why Dumaguete? Please don't tell me it's me again joke.
Well, I mean, it was part of that. I mean, but there's a lot of vloggers doing things about Dumaguete. Of course, it was on Forbes' list.
Yeah.
I wanted to be by the ocean, and we tried out looking at different places, but I had somebody convince me to go to the Angeles City area first.
Okay.
And I just didn't love it. I knew that I wouldn't love it. I knew I wouldn't love the sex scene.
What is it about there?
I realized right away that it's not going to work. It wasn't going to be for me.
Okay.
The good thing that came out of it was I met my girlfriend there. I met her at the mall.
Oh.
She worked at the mall.
What's her name?
I don't know if she wants me to say her name. Her name's Belle.
Okay, so you met Belle.
I met Belle at the mall. Do you want to hear that story?
Yes, please.
Okay,
what was the pickup line?
There wasn't a pickup. Well,
okay.
The pickup line was somebody went to my driver who was helping me through the store. We were shopping for something. Somebody was like, "Is your foreign boss? Is he dating anyone?" He's like, "No, he's single."
Oh, okay.
So then he tells me, "Oh yeah, somebody's interested in you at the department store." I was like, "Really?" I was like, well, what's she look like? And he kind of described this girl, and I was like,
so she did the first move of...
Well, she didn't, though. That was the thing. But wait, there's more.
Okay, wait, there's more.
So we go back, and she's like hiding from me in her section, and I'm like, what's going on? I thought that she wanted to meet me, right?
Because we're shy.
So then I'm talking to her, and she's sweating profusely. She's telling me, I'm not seeing this, but she's like, I'm sweating everywhere. I'm so nervous. And then she goes,
okay, I thought you had this, special powers of smell.
No, I do actually, but I didn't smell it. Fortunately,
okay.
She may sweat, but she's not stinky.
Okay.
And I was like, so, I was told that you like me, and she's like, no. And I was like, what?
What?
She's like, no, I said that I might be interested in dating a foreigner. And so all my friends at the department store...
There's a disclaimer there all of a sudden?
Decided to set me up.
Okay.
She was scared of me because I'm big and because I'm hairy. Like I break all the molds that a lot of Filipinas, you hear want. Like I have tattoos, I have facial hair, I'm big. If you're stereotyping, right, what you hear. And so for her, I was scary, and I'm told that I have a loud voice. I don't know.
Oh.
She said, "Your voice is so big."
You're so big. That's what she said. Okay.
Yeah. So then I'm talking to her, and I find out that she lives close to the mall, but she's got to walk home in the typhoon that night.
Okay, so you
I'm
offered
like,
her a ride?
Can we give you a ride home? Maybe next time. So then that becomes
Smart girl.
That becomes the theme for the next couple, 2-3 weeks. I don't know, something like that.
Okay.
I'm like, can I take you on a date? Maybe next time. So we're constantly chatting, but she will not agree to an in-person date.
Okay.
And then she did, and then...
After how many attempts?
I think I asked her a lot.
A lot?
I don't know, maybe...
Okay.
Maybe a half dozen times at least. I mean, I wasn't begging, but I was telling her, like, I'm interested, and she knew I was talking to other people at first, but like as soon as we went on our first, even while I was talking to her, I was like, I really like her.
Okay.
And then after we went on our first date, I think that next week I just told her, I was like, I know I told you I was talking to other girls, but I'm not going to. You're the one that I want to talk to.
And she's here with you in Dumaguete.
Yes, she is.
So how old is Val?
She's 38.
Okay.
And I'm 47, so it's not that big of a age gap. Yeah, I'm not a guy that wants to date somebody that's super much younger than me.
Young.
Yeah, I'm not.
So, Doug, you mentioned in your email to me that you're biracial.
Yes.
So tell us about your family. Is your mom white?
My mom was white. My dad is Creole. He's Louisiana Creole, so he's black and French.
Okay.
I do consider myself black. I mean, I'm biracial, but I do consider myself African American or black. People see what they see. A lot of people will try to tell me, oh, well, you're not that black or you're not this. I don't get to live that experience just because that's your opinion at that time.
So how hard is it growing up?
Being mixed in America?
Being mixed.
The black kids don't really like you and the white kids don't really like you. That was kind of my experience. You just kind of don't fit in. The black kids are like, you're white. I have curly hair, but I don't have the same hair as them or whatever, But as I got older, I got more and more confident in who I was. And it didn't matter to me what a white friend might think or a black friend. I just knew that if they were good people, we were going to click.
You mentioned also that one of the reasons why you came here is that you're tired of what's going on in the country right now, especially in the dating scene there. It's very difficult to find a mate. So now I recently made a video about the passport bros. Do you consider yourself a passport bro?
I didn't even know what it was.
You didn't know what it was.
I guess I am though. Like if you look at the definition and you look at what it was, my friend, he's like, hey, you're totally a passport bro. I was like, I didn't even realize I was. I just knew I was a guy that was disenchanted. I am disenchanted with the way things are as far as how men in general are treated in America.
And it's not being demonized. I don't know what's going on.
It's for the longest time too.
Right.
And if you look even at a show, even if you look at sitcoms, right? The men are always the dumbasses.
I know. I noticed that. Like the other days, like seriously, the girl is the badass, and then now the guy's like the dummy, and then she's gonna be a badass, and then saving the guys. Like seriously,
that all men are Neanderthals, and that a man can't be sensitive or whatever to a woman's needs. And then at the same time, you have women that say that they want all of those things, but they don't. Right? They say that they want a man to pay attention to them. They say that they want a man that cooks for them and everything else.
That's the problem. They think they say they want it, but the problem is they're chasing chads.
You've got so many guys clamoring for the same women with the same baggage. But it's a sausage fest. Like on the dating sites, it really is a sausage fest. There's so many guys and so few females. There's women outside of the United States that are not as jaded, that maybe have more traditional values. I want to cook and I like to cook, but it's nice to have somebody who wants to take care of me at the same time.
Right.
I want a partner. you know, and to have somebody that's just as caring as me. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a relationship where it's one-sided. You know, either they're more focused on their career or they're more narcissistic or whatever it is, but they're not in it for kind of that symbiotic relationship. It's supposed to be what men and women are supposed to be anyway, right?
Yeah, they should complement each other.
Exactly.
The problem is they're competing with each other in the West.
And I don't want to compete. I had a girl that I was dating call me on for a fist fight once.
Wait,
over nothing. Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Fist fights? Seriously?
Yeah. She said, yeah, she wanted me to do something I didn't want to do.
Okay.
And I said no.
I bet this is not a Filipina because
no. It was a black girl.
Okay.
The one black girl I dated, really. I didn't really date a lot of black females.
Okay.
But yeah, she
like, come on.
She hopped up out of a bed and said, "Let's go right here." And I was like, "Are you serious?"
That's not very ladylike. How would you describe your girlfriend, Belle, compared to your past relationships with Western women? How is she different?
She's definitely more attentive in a lot of ways, you know. It's very, very sweet. It's part of the reason I'm here. You know, I came here for the beautiful weather too. It wasn't just about Filipinas, but I'm very fortunate that I have somebody like her in my life.
Do you know what Belle looks like? Do you
I do, yeah. I have to get very close, like personal space invading close. To
okay, you can invade my space.
I
how
can?
Yes. How
okay.
Okay, so
lighting's not good enough.
Okay. Okay.
It's not for me.
Okay. Are you planning to retire here for good?
That's the plan. Belle doesn't believe me, but yes, that's the plan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I told my children, like I said, they were all supportive. Everybody wants to come visit me here. More people want to visit me now than they do when I had my house in Arizona. So.
Yeah, how weird is that?
Yeah.
Like on the other side of the
come
world.
on over, yeah. Like let's do this. You know, it's only a 15-hour flight from LA, so.
How much is your monthly budget here?
My budget, what I want to stay under is between $1,500 to $2,000 a month.
Okay.
And
is that with a live-in girlfriend?
Yes, it would be cheaper if it was just me, but I didn't come here to be alone.
What can you advise men out there looking into coming to the Philippines, especially people with disabilities? Do you think they can find what they're looking for here?
If I'm here and I'm blind, like,
Yeah.
what's your excuse? Why are you sitting on the couch?
Exactly, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see for yourself. I know the Philippines is not for everyone.
No.
No. But it can be a paradise to most people and could be hell sometimes, but just bear with us. Dog, thank you so very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thanks
for today. I really enjoyed our chat.
Me too.
And guys, you know the drill. I'll be back in just 3 more days with something new. So you don't want to miss it. So bye for now. If you think about it, I'm nothing like Cleopatra. I never married my brother. I never ruled a nation. And I certainly don't live in denial. In fact, the only thing we have in common is an appreciation of slightly older men. You could consider me a diplomat though, because my videos attempt to bridge the gap between the sexes and between Eastern and Western cultures. I'll always bring you something new to consider, and I hope you enjoy my efforts. If you do, please remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons, as well as the little notification bell so you can see my future content. And if you don't like my videos, then you can kiss my ass.